Here DIY. This is Erica today. Today we are working on a 2002 GMC Jimmy. We're going to do some basic maintenance of just changing the oil today. So first, to get you started, if you don't have a nice big lifted vehicle that you can easily get under without having to jack it up, you're going to have to do that. Or if you have a pit, you're lucky enough to have one of those, that's the best. But so we just jacked it up so I can get underneath it safely to do the whole job. So I'll get my supplies and stuff set up, and then I'll get underneath, and then our next step will be finding that drain plug and emptying the old oil out. Everything else set, so now we're going to get underneath and take that drain plug out. Alright, on our model, the drain plug is located right at the back of this. Position a catch pin under it. Should start coming out here. Alright, so while that's draining, we'll get to the filter, we'll get that taken out, get that replaced, and then we'll probably be close to empty here. Then we can refill it, put the plug back in, refill it, and get everything else done. So we will find the filter and we'll show you where that's at and get that replaced next. Okay, we are back on this model, and I said it wrong earlier. It's a 2001, not a 2002. The oil filter is located in this weird spot up front here, but it says oil filter access right on it. And there's just a little thing you gotta use a screwdriver to twist off on. So it is up here. And then a couple things to note too about taking that drain plug out is to make sure you don't drop it in that bucket. You don't want your plug dropped in the bucket with all the oil. Just to make a note of that. So we're just gonna do that. And then you can see it up there. The lighting right so you can see it. So I'm going to grab the other one real quick, the new one. Okay, a really nice tool if you don't have one is this. It is pretty much designed just for taking off oil filters. They come in different sizes, so this happens to be the smaller one of the two that we have. So you can see the difference. So all you do is slide it over the end, and then pull back on it, and it'll tighten right up. Just twist maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so you get it tightened, and then you just keep twisting, maybe. Stuck in there good this time.
Go as close as you can to the threads. There you go. I was moving.
Okay, we're getting slowly.
Okay, it's out there.
Alright, so now that I have this pretty much hand loose, I could take it off. I'm going to pause on this for a minute. I'm going to go back to the drain plug, put that drain plug back in, and then I can move my catch pan up here, take the filter off, and then let this drain out. So we'll go back to that point for a minute. Alright, it looks like it's just dripping a little tiny bit still, so I'm going to clean off my plug here before I put it back in. Make sure we don't get any kind of debris on it.
Oh, what?
Alright, and just a note, the end of the drain plug is magnetic, so if you check it before you actually clean it off and put it back in, you'll be able to tell if there's metal collected on that. If there is, that tells you that there's a problem with your engine, and you should probably get it checked out by somebody who knows what they're doing, or seek some kind of advice. But just so you know, the end of that can be a real good indicator if you have a problem going on that you may not have noticed. So. We'll get it hand tight in there. And then I'll use my wrench. Actually tighten it the rest of the way. Okay, she's tight. Okay, so slide out. Pull my kiss pan with me. So I take this the rest of the way off. Be able to catch the oil coming out of here. Oh, it's not quite here. Watch the camera come out. Alright, and you can just throw that in your catch pan because it really doesn't matter. Don't need to keep that all nice and clean anymore since we're replacing it anyways. So we'll let that drain for a couple minutes, then we'll come back, and then we'll put the new filter back in. Just to finish draining out, it really doesn't need long. There's not a whole lot of oil stuck in there. So now we're ready to install our new filter. And a note that I was thinking about, to make sure that you find this O-ring when you take the old filter off. If it's attached, which it usually is, great. If it's not, then you need to check on the engine side just to make sure you get that O-ring off. If you don't get it off and you put this on top of it, you're not going to have a really good seal, and you're almost guaranteed to leak from it. So just make sure you get that old O-ring off so it sits where it's supposed to. So with this one, you just want to lubricate it a little bit. I have it open in new oil, so I'm just going to dip into the old oil. Any sediment or anything is going to go to the bottom anyway, so this should be decent oil, and you're really only using a tiny ring, so no big deal anyway. So I just want to get that lubricated just a little bit before we put it in. So we'll come back up here. Let's twist it on as far as we can. Okay, and putting it on, we don't use that strap wrench again. You just want to make sure you have it nice and snug, but not overly snug. So let's do it as good as I can, and we're all set. So we're done in here, so I'll close this up. Tighten it with my screwdriver, which is somewhere. A few things, we're all about being resourceful. You saw I was using a creeper. If you don't have one, cardboard works perfect. You almost always have cardboard laying around. That's junk that you really don't care about. Who cares if it gets dirty? Most people burn it anyways. So that's great. Creeper's really awesome though too if you have one. Another thing is funnels. We have a million funnels, and I tell you, every time we need one, nowhere to be found. So then we buy more, and they still get lost. So if you don't have a funnel or just can't find yours like we have, ever can. You gotta be resourceful sometimes. So if you have a bottle, 20-ounce bottle, whatever works good. I'll cut it here in a second. Otherwise, if you have an old oil bottle, that works awesome too. You can kind of make your own funnel. So you're just gonna cut off the opposite side from the lid, because that lid is what we'll end up putting in the hole. Just cut that bottom section off, slushy stuff, and then just make sure that it's fairly clean. I mean, this should be, but just wipe it off real quick. Just make sure we don't have any old Mountain Dew going into our system or something. So, good to go. All right. Then your owner's manual has a wealth of knowledge. So if you're ever wondering about stuff, go to your owner's manual. When I say that is like your type of oil. Ours says it right on the cap for filling the oil. It says 5W30. This doesn't tell you how much though. So if you go to your owner's manual, it will tell you how many. And I think ours, with a filter change, I believe is like 4.5 quarts. So we're going to put 4 in. Then we'll start it, let it circulate, let it fill that oil filter, and then we'll fill it the rest of the way. We'll check it along that too. So my cap aside. Here's my handy dandy filter I just made. Start a new one. Okay, my handy dandy funnel I just made. I'm so excited about it. I forgot what it's called. Alright, so we'll dump a few quarts in here. And you can see it's working perfect. Love being resourceful. And then a good note about used oil. A lot of people don't know how to get rid of it. Don't know what to do with it. We have a really nice black container that we got that's just for using to recycle oil. I think it holds like 5 quarts or something like that, maybe more, I'm not sure. But we just take that full and just bring it to like Walmart, a lot of parts stores too. They'll take your old oil from you. That way you don't have to figure out what to do with it. And this vehicle has almost 180,000 miles, so we use the higher mileage oil on it. It's supposed to help. Maybe it does. Why not? Spend a couple extra dollars and maybe have it run another 50,000 miles. I think that's worth it. Alright, I'll put one more in and then we'll run it, cycle it, check it, all that good stuff. And then also a good note too is if you do a lot of your own oil changes, you can go to any of the parts store and get the little stickers in your window so you don't have to try and memorize when it was done last or when it's supposed to be done next or whatever. And they're only a few dollars, but pretty much every parts store has them. So take my homemade funnel out here. Alright, and I'll go start it, let it cycle, we'll check after I put the gas on. Alright, and then now that we have it running, we're going to want to check just to make sure nothing's leaking right now where the oil filter is or where the drain plug is. Looks good. Oil filter looks good. No leaks. No leaks at the drain plug there. So I think we're all set. And then we'll come up here. It off so we can actually hear. I'm going to check the oil level now just to see where we're at. I always wipe it before I even look at it. Put it back in because it has been filling. Sometimes that level can get a little bit mixed up and you get a false reading. So, look. Looks like we're still low. Looks like we're about here, right below that add line. So we definitely need that last quart in there. And so I'll put the cap back on. We'll check it again. If you don't know where your oil check is, they will be yellow. Your transmission will be black or red, but your oil will always be yellow. Most of the time they say, this one says engine oil right on it. And some of them are in weird spots. They're always different, but just so you know, the yellow is engine. You can tell once you pull it out if it's reddish liquid or not. Obviously that would be transmission, but all right. It looks like we are in our operating range now. You can see a little dot since in there, so we are good. And then another thing is your oil, where ours is 5W30. The W, a lot of people think the W means weight. It does, but it doesn't. It's an indirectly weight. It actually means winter. 5 is what it is during the summer months, like the viscosity, the thickness of your oil. And then whatever's after that W, the 30 in this case, that's how thick it is in the winter. So a lot of people get that confused. They're not quite sure what it means. Most people really don't care probably either, but they just throw in whatever it says to put in. But just so you know, that's actually what it means. So we are pretty well done. I'll get things buttoned up on the bottom. We'll get the jack stand taken out, and we'll be done for the day. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want to see us do, not see us ever do again, just let us know. I mean, we're always reading them. We're always responding to people. So, and then another thing, like our channels, subscribe to our channels. We love it. We like to see more people tuning in. We're trying to show you that anybody can do almost anything. We've done everything from changing our oil to electrical to completely renovating a whole basement. Like, I mean, we didn't know how to do most of it, and we've learned and done it all. So anybody can do stuff. You just have to have motivation and drive and learn how to do it properly. And so that's what we're really trying to show on this channel. So like and subscribe. We really love it. So thank you again. We'll see you soon.